The battle for third place could be between Sweden, who have Jan Andersson and Per Jonsson running for them, Finland with Kai Naimi and Ari Koponen, and Czechoslovakia represented by Tony Kasper and Alice Trummel. The outsiders, well, Norway with Einar Killingstad and Roy Otto, and Italy, who are making steady progress with Armando Castagna and Valentino Furlanetto. Earlier today, Gary Newbond got the views of the English duo Kenny Carter and Kelvin Tatum.
Kenny Carter, what can we expect this afternoon? England just prepared to qualify, or does the new pairing want to win?
We both want to win, Gary. We both desperately need to win today. Obviously, we want to qualify, that's the main thing, but we really would like to win.
Kelvin, I mean, how aware are you of the criticism about this new pairing when we won the title with another pairing last season?
Well, not that aware about it, because really and truly, I feel that we both deserve to be picked. But really and truly, you can't really let that sort of thing worry you a bit too much, because, you know, you just got a job to do and you just got to get on with it.
But are your thoughts the same as Kenny, that just qualifying's not enough?
Yes, because obviously if we win, it will answer so many people's questions, you know, and it would be lovely. But then again, if it gets to a situation where we have to qualify, then that's what we will do. But I'm sure we will be in with a very good chance.
So it's all over 21 heats, the top three nations to qualify for the draw final. We join it for the start. Our commentator is Dave Lanning.
Heat one of this 1985 semi-final of the World Pairs Championship, and it's Norway versus America. Let's look at the lineup on the inside for Norway. Einar Killingstad riding in red. Next to him in a white helmet, Bobby Schwartz, who's twice been a winner or shared the title here. He's in white. In grid 3 in blue, Roy Otto for Norway. On the outside, Sean Moran in yellow and black. 4 laps to a race, remember. And 3 points for a win, 2 for a second, 1 for a third. The usual format. The Americans, one of the favourites for this title. They should qualify. And it's Otto who's impatient and up to the first corner. And it is Kylingstad who leads it. Kylingstad leads it. Moran going hard around the outside. Here in Oslo, the Americans having their first taste of British Speedway's new headquarter. Kylingstad's ridden a good first lap. He's in second place. Moran leads it. Second place, Kylingstad. Third place, Bobby Schwartz, who got elbowed out on the first couple of corners there. And now he's making inroads onto Kylingstad. Track has been heavily watered, it's a bit wet, and Schwartz will come through on the inside looking to find a hold hand inside of Kylingstad. And Kylingstad, a young man who wished to come into British Speedway. He actually signed for Reading. They wouldn't let him in on a work permit, and he certainly looks so he's not out of his depth at world level. And now Schwartz switching outside, and Moran waiting for him, and Moran looking for his partner. And Bobby Schwartz just seemed to find the quickest way around here, this 338 metre Oslo circuit. But Moran will win it. Kylingstad doing well to hang on for second place. Third place, Bobby Schwartz. 4 points for the Americans, 2 for the Norwegians after heat 1. Well, there is Sean Moran, and we saw a good example there what pair racing is all about. He wasn't just worried about his own fortunes there. He slowed down considerably looking for his partner and almost lost the lead as they went into the last lap. He's realised the danger and got motoring again. Moran winning it, and the Americans starting with 4 points. Heat 2, and it is Italy versus Sweden. The little-known Italians represented on the inside by the rider in blue, Valentino Furlanetto. Does a bit of ice racing, this lad, so he'll be obviously at home if conditions are slippery, which they seem to be. Next to him in the white helmet colour, it's Jan Andersson, experienced world campaigner for Sweden. Grid 3 has Armando Castagna, the Italian individual champion, in red, and on the outside it's Per Jonsson in yellow and black for Sweden. The Swedes are gating specialist. Andersson really does fly out. Jonsson has made his reputation on his starting. The Italians are unfancy, but could be a surprise packet. Here we go for heat number 2. Jonsson is rolling up to the start, and into the first corner is Andersson, and Jonsson swept out wide by the two Italians, so it's Andersson up front. In second place is Furlanetto, in third place Castagna, and the Italians are doing better than we thought. Andersson leads it, the two Italians side by side in second and third place, and Per Jonsson, who rides for Reading in the British League, got really all went out of the first corner, and is beginning now to make a little bit of impression at the back. I think the real battle at the back, they're the two Italians. are riding together as a pair, and this really is what this championship's all about. We have Jan Andersen a mile in front, leading it. Seems to have picked up a streamer from somewhere, Andersen. There's the distance between the first and second and third. Goodness knows what Andersen has picked up. Looks like he's going to a wedding. The Italians doing well to share the heat. Second place there was Furlanetto. Third was Castagna. So 3 to the Swedes and 3 to the Italians there in heat 2. Well, there is Jan Andersen, who predictably won heat 2. Made a good start, never made any mistakes. We don't expect that from him. He's the world indoor champion, incidentally. Goodness only knows what he picked up during that fall. Actually, you can see he's got a streamer there, and it looks like carnival time for Jan. And coming into the action for the first time, the England pairing here in this Sunbright-sponsored World Pairs semi-final at Ulster Stadium, Bradford. There is England number 1, Kenny Carter, virtually at home. He just lives up the road at Halifax, 5 minutes drive away, anxious to do well in front of his home crowd. Let's have a look at the lineup. They're meeting the Norwegians on the inside. It is Kelvin Tatum in blue for England. Next to him, in the white helmet colour, it will be Einar Killingstad from Norway. Grid 3 has Kenny Carter on the outside, Roy Otto. The Norwegians have already had a ride. They scored 2 points in that one. England have had the chance to see all their rivals there. The last one's into the action. Here we go for heat 4. Otto impatient on the outside, and it's a pretty even break, and it's England who gets to the corner first. Tatum leads it, Carter around the outside, and it's the Pride of Lions giving them the old 1-2 here, but really that's only to be anticipated against the relatively inexperienced Norwegians. It's a bright start for England. Carter, who of course rode here, as did Tatum, in the World Team Cup preliminary round, which our viewers in Yorkshire saw, and they both go their way around this 338-metre ultra circuit, and they really are carving up heat 4. No nation has picked up maximum points from their opening ride, but unless anything untoward happens here, Carter and Tatum, controversial selection by John Berry. Going into the last lap, England have had a pretty good record in this competition. They've won it 6 times since 1976, and they've retained it last year through Chris Morton and Peter Collins, and this really is a super start for the Lions. Carter wins it. Second place is Tatum. Third place there, Killingstad. England get the start they were looking for, and they move into the lead with all the nations now having completed one ride. 4 heats completed. There's the good news on the leaderboard for English fans. The England pairing, the only one to collect maximum points from their first outing. 3 to qualify, remember, and we're moving now into race number 5. And this time it's America, who rather surprisingly only got 4 points from their opening ride in against the comparatively naive Italians. Let's look at the lineup. On the inside, Bobby Schwartz in red, third place first time out. Next to him in yellow and black, Valentino Furlanetto from Italy. Grid 3 will have Sean Moran for America. He's in the blue helmet colour and won his opening ride. And on the outside, it's Armando Castagna from Italy. Heat 5, America versus Italy. Oh, that's a better start from Schwartz. Schwartz moves off the inside grid. Moran taking Castagna wide and high, and the Americans will look for each other. Schwartz looking over his shoulder both ways. He sees Moran has got the outside run, and they'll just stay together now and try to make sure the Italians get nowhere near them. Really, they are in a different class, these two nations, it has to be said. The Americans, who have twice won this title in 1981 and 82, and both times Bobby Schwartz on the inside here was a member of their winning duo. Castagna is making sure they don't go to sleep, and the Italians are riding gallantly. They really are out of their depth here, but they're making sure the Americans don't dilly-dally on the way. Schwartz takes a quick look back on his inside shoulder, sees Castagna is well back. They'll be content to do this with Moran, who likes to ride high on the outside here, and the Americans, who we reckon to be England's greatest rivals here, they're going to collect maximum points, with Bobby Schwartz virtually getting off and carrying Moran round. 5 points, 10 to the United States, 1 to the plucky Italians. And there is Bobby Schwartz, who made the start and won it really in second gear. Heat number 6 coming up, and this time it's a Scandinavian showdown with the Swedes and the Finns in competition. Let's have a look at the lineup. On the inside in red, Jan Andersson from Reading and Sweden. He won his opening ride. Next to him in yellow and black, Ari Koponen from Finland. Hasn't ridden yet, had engine trouble before his scheduled opening ride. Grid number 3 has the rider in blue, Per Jonsson from Sweden, and on the outside it is Kai Niemi in the white helmet for Finland. No, it really should be a little bit more tense, this one, with Andersson and Niemi both accepted world-class performers. The Finns are brothers-in-law, incidentally, and the Swedish pairing are teammates at Reading. So they should know all about each other's style and their respective abilities. We're waiting for Heat 6. The Americans have moved into the lead, but they've had an extra ride. Both these nations will be looking for qualification points already. That looks like being a close call, and here we go for Heat 6. We'll look for Andersson from the inside and Niemi from the outside. They're getting impatient. And off they go, and it is Andersson again who's made a jet-propelled start. Andersson leads it. In second place, Niemi going high. In third place is a battle, and it looks like Johnson will just get in, but we have a battle up front with Andersson and Niemi. And the drive seems to be moving high, and Andersson moved out to counter Niemi, and Niemi's come back down the inside of him. In third place, it is Per Jonsson. So Sweden first and third at the moment, and Niemi seems to be making ground on Andersson. Andersson will ride an immaculate line around the inside, but Niemi has got all the drive on the outside, and Andersson is suddenly aware of him, and we've got a real race on here. Andersson moves out high to counter the dashes down the boards from Niemi. And Niemi, who seemed to be getting up around this corner last time, has been pushed back. Andersson suddenly aware of the danger moving into the last lap. Andersson has ridden a really super strategic race here, because Niemi has attacked him inside and out. He's held him out and almost stopped him. So Andersson will win Heat 6. He remains unbeaten individually. Second was Niemi. Third place was Per Jonsson. 4 points for Sweden, 2 for the Finns. And there is the race winner, Jan Andersson, who had his work to do there with Niemi on his tail, and the Finn pushed him hard inside and out, but Andersson brilliantly outmanoeuvred him to take Heat 6 and keep Sweden in contention for a qualification place at the very least. England's latest wonder boy on the track, Kelvin Tatum, 20-year-old from Coventry Bees in the British League, who this morning had a big English breakfast on instructions of his team manager. He told him he had to eat to get into action. So let's have a look at the lineup for Heat 7. On the inside, it is Tatum in blue. Next to him in yellow and black for Czechoslovakia, Tony Kasper. Grid 3 has Kenny Carter red, and on the outside, Alice Drimmel in white for the Czechs. England need maximum points here to overtake the Americans on top of the leaderboard. The Americans have had 2 starts. They have 9 points. England have had 1 and taken maximum points from it, and they'll be looking to pick up something from the Czechs, who are not involved, of course, in British League racing, and just looked a bit rusty first time out. So Heat 7 will watch for Tatum on the inside. He's a quick starter, and Carter has looked sharp from the outside grid earlier on. So let's look at Heat number 7, and England bidding for another maximum, and off they go, and it's again Carter and Tatum who do the scissors, and Carter seemed to pick up some drive midway around that corner, but they're a long way clear already. Levelling out behind them, it is now Kasper has been passed by his partner Drimmel, but it's England 1 and 2, and this young pairing who caused a few eyebrows to be raised when selected. We remind you that this title was won for England by the Belgian partnership of Peter Collins and Chris Morton. And Chris Morton, we know, is here this afternoon to give the youngsters who have replaced him a bit of encouragement, and they're a mile in front, and really it's no competition. Carter has lost his helmet colour, but it is him in front, with Tatum in second place. And the Czechs, whose machinery, it has to be said, doesn't look competitive, have been dropped off by a quarter of a lap. It's Drimmel in third place. He's a useful long tracker, but these are the England pairing who are going to pick up another 5 points very, very comfortably indeed. Carter wins it. Tatum is second. In third place there in the final analysis, it was Drimmel. But 5 points it was. Kenny Carter who wins it for England, and the young Lions are looking good. Each nation has completed 2 rides now, and England, you can see clearly on top with maximum 10 points. The United States, though, breathing right down their exhaust pipes, and a bit of a dogfight developing between the Swedes and the Finns for that third qualification place. Heat 8, and it is the competition and meeting of the 2 unfashionable nations. We have the Norwegians versus the Italians here in Heat 8, and both of these emerging nations, and they've shown the odd glimpse of interesting form. Certainly have not been taken out of their depth here at Odsal this afternoon. Let's look at the lineup. While the Norwegians there seeming to make up their mind who's going to go into which grid. In the blue helmet, it is Roy Otto, experienced campaigner, been around a while, has toured over here before, but never at this kind of level. And in the red helmet, it looks like Otto's going to go into grid 1. Norway versus Italy then, with Roy Otto on the inside in blue. Next to him in white, Armando Castagna from Italy. Grid 3 has Einar Kylingstad in red, and on the outside, Valentino Furlanetto in the yellow and black helmet colour. Two of the lesser fancied nations, and Otto seems to be holding up the start of Heat 8. Could be a close contest, these four, very evenly matched. Let's see who makes the start in Heat number 8. Clean break, and it is Castagna. It's the Italians who've got away. Castagna leads it. Furlanetto is second. In third place, it is Roy Otto, and Kylingstad, who looked good earlier on, is at the back. The Italians up front, and looking back there, Castagna for his partner. And the battle really is for second place, with Furlanetto under pressure from Otto. Going high, looking for his partner, leaving a hole up the inside. Good team tactics by the Italians, but Otto's right on their back wheel now, and he certainly isn't intent on letting them get clear. Going into the last lap, and the Italians will be happy about this. They look like they're going to collect maximum points from Heat 8, and both the Norwegians seem to be slowing, and the Italians are going to win it in a doddle. Castagna in the white helmet colour has ridden, well, impressive looking race there. Second place Furlanetto, 5 points for the Italians, one only for the Norwegians. Eventually it was Kylingstad who took third place. Armando Castagna from Italy taking Heat 8, and there's his partner, and that 5 points to them, well, brings them up into the reckoning for a qualification place, and that would be a surprise.
Kenny Carter, you've been called for a test. Now let's establish there are two types of tests.
Yeah, there's alcohol test to see if you've been drinking beer, and then there's a drugs test to see if you've been taking drugs.
Now which one do they want to check out with you?
Alcohol test.
So what did you have to do?
I had to blow in a bag and blow this bag up, a bit like the police do when they stop you for speeding, and I was okay.
Were you surprised to be called?
I was very surprised because the last meeting we had until the World Team Cup, they called me up for that one as well, so I don't know why they pick on me.
Master Carter then proves his sobriety, but let's have a look at the intoxicating prospect of what Odsal Stadium, Bradford, British Speedway's new headquarters is going to look like. You can see massive redevelopment work. Something like £4 million is going to go into this stadium. You can see there, that's where the new dressing rooms are going to be. They've spent £1 million already, but in the light of recent tragic events in this city, we have new safety regulations. You may have wondered why those first few rows of seats are empty. They are to comply with safety regulations on this new development here at Odsal. That's why they're empty. And we look back down the track to the pits. The pits situated high up on the third and fourth corners, and coming into heat number 9, well, it is Sweden versus America, and these are two of the top nations in the world. This one should really be something of a firecracker. The Americans currently in second place overall behind the English. Let's look at the lineup for Heat 9. From the inside, we have Jan Andersen, unbeaten thus far. He is in the red helmet colour. Next to him in white, it's Bobby Schwartz for the United States in white. Grid 3 has Per Jonsson in blue for Sweden, and on the outside it's Sean Moran in the yellow helmet colour. Heat 9, Anderson and Schwartz, former teammates at Reading. They know all about each other's ability, and Anderson really is a starting specialist, but he really has got two big Californians in against him here in Heat 9. The start so vital, and they're impatient, of course. The FIA regulations are allowed to touch the tapes, which is forbidden in British League racing. The way they go this time, and it's Anderson again. Anderson leads the Americans. Moran will attack him around the outside. And here goes Sean Moran down the outside, and he quite got the horsepower. A little lad from Sheffield just across the way. The yellow helmet colour certainly won't shut off, but Anderson is aware of him. It's Anderson leading it. Moran in second place. In third place it is Schwartz, and Sean Moran has got to find some drive, he's got to find some power, he's got to find a hole. Anderson rises on rails. It's a very, very tight old track to get past anybody, and Moran's going down the inside. Whoa. He left a hole there, Anderson, and Moran almost popped through it. Difficult to find a racing line when you are behind them into the last lap. 338 metres, we remind you, around this custom-built Odsal circuit. Although Sean Moran has tried inside a race once again, clever tactical riding up front of Anderson is going to win Heat 9. He takes it. Second place Moran. Third is Schwartz. At the back it's Johnson. Points shared there. That was a good ride, really, has to be said, from Jan Anderson. He was under considerable pressure, but he held out, takes 3 points, keeps the Swedes in a reckoning for a qualification place, as indeed the 3 points the Americans accumulated there. They're still in with a shout. Just for a moment there, Jan Anderson in the red helmet colour moved a snitch offline. The racing line here, he drifts out on this corner in lap 3, you can see there, moves off his normal racing line. He leaves a hole there, and Sean Moran finds some drive around the inside and almost caught him napping. Anderson gets his wheels back in line just in time to hold out that thrust down the inside.